Become a premium member on RealCatholicTV.com today. Not only will you learn about the one true faith, just think of all the new friends you'll make.
When the saints go marching in.
A Texas judge says Planned Parenthood should receive taxpayer dollars, and contraception at Georgetown University is no fluke, thanks to the administration. And a bishop in Wisconsin defends Orthodoxy amongst his priests. Those stories and more just ahead on Catholic News Roundup.
Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by PewSitter.com, your online Catholic newspaper for the third millennium, CatholicMediaCoalition.org, in line with the Church, online with the world.
And theAmericanCatholic.com, politics and culture from a Catholic perspective.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of Catholic News Roundup. I'm Matthew McAuliffe. Judge defends Planned Parenthood. A district judge in Austin, Texas claims there is sufficient evidence to prove that banning Planned Parenthood from a state taxpayer program is unconstitutional. Judge Lee Yackel is filling an injunction in court that will block a law passed by the state of Texas keeping abortion providers like Planned Parenthood from being fiscally supported by the Women's Health Program. The injunction will take effect until opening arguments are heard in a court over a lawsuit brought by 8 Planned Parenthood clinics in Texas that do not provide abortions, claiming the law, quote, unconstitutionally restricts their freedoms of speech and association. Judge Yackel already seems to be using their language, saying in his temporary ruling, quote, the court is particularly influenced by the potential for immediate loss of access to necessary medical services by several thousand Texas women, end quote. According to the Associated Press, the outcome of this case is likely to be appealed regardless of who wins in this district court. Endorsing honor killing. The president of Chechnya is openly endorsing the Muslim practice of honor killing, declaring open season on women with what he calls, quote, loose morals. President Ramzan Kadyrov says he wants to be more Muslim than Islamists are themselves, while the country formerly under communist oppression already enforces Islamic dress and has legalized polygamous marriages. The president commented on the dozens of women that had been shot and discarded carelessly in alleys and along public roads over the past 5 years, saying they were rightly shot by their relatives for loose morals, and women are the property of their husbands, their main role being the bearing of children. He claims that no one can stop his country from being Muslim, and anyone who tries is his enemy. Prelate protects Orthodoxy. A Wisconsin bishop is defending the orthodoxy of his parish priests and reprimanding parishioners for their criticism. The priests serving St. Mary's Parish in Platteville, Wisconsin were labeled as, quote, traditionalists, and parishioners' complaints reached the ears of Bishop Robert Morlino that the priests were too, quote, pre-Vatican II, after he invited the priests from the Society of Jesus Christ the Priest to serve the parish in 2009. Shortly afterward, parishioners simply started withholding their donations to the parish, which is causing its school to be shut down. Bishop Morlino responded by reminding the faithful in a letter that he has not received one concrete example of false teaching coming from any of the St. Mary's priests since 2009, and suggested they consider the canonical penalties associated with calumny. You can read a copy of the letter on our resource page by clicking on the link right outside the screen. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a few seconds.
Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by NewOxfordReview.org, the voice of Catholic Orthodoxy, in print and on the web, and RenewAmerica.com, expanding the influence of America's grassroots in the cause of freedom.
No compromise on contraception. Georgetown University President John J. DeGioia announced last week that birth control will not be covered in student health care plans. This announcement comes in response to Georgetown law student Sandra Fluke's testimony in February before a Democratic House committee. Fluke said she thought religious institutions should be required to provide free contraceptive coverage to students. DeGioia noted that the Jesuit University will continue offering its employees contraceptive coverage. Like most universities, Georgetown requires its students to have health insurance. However, it does not mandate that they purchase the school's insurance plan. Students are allowed to purchase different health insurance plans from a third party. But DeGioia said students who opt for the insurance plan offered by Georgetown should know that it, quote, is consistent with our Catholic and Jesuit identity. Cohabitation U. Dartmouth College is now making its, quote, gender-neutral housing program available to more students, according to the school newspaper, the Dartmouth. The Ivy League school has decided to increase the number of rooms where students of any gender can cohabitate. Their website says the program, quote, seeks to provide a living environment welcoming to all gender identities, one not limited by the traditional gender binary, end quote. Not everyone thinks encouraging gender fluidity is a good idea. In a 2011 interview with the Christian Post, Glenn Stanton, director of the Family Formation Studies at Focus on the Family, said that making traditional gender distinctions is important, saying, quote, to deny our gender and what it means is to deny a part of ourselves, end quote. Stanton also pointed out the obvious problem of natural chemistry between males and females, predicting that hallways of gender-neutral dorms will become a, quote, sexually energized space. He also warned that in an atmosphere of sexual promiscuity, the young women are the ones who are in danger of being used and wounded. I'm Matthew McAuliffe. Thanks for tuning in today. Be sure and tune in tomorrow for your daily dose of Catholic News Roundup, right here on RealCatholicTV.com. Also, don't forget to check out The Vortex, where Michael talks about camouflage Catholics. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to tell all your friends about us. And as always, God bless you.